starting soon. How do I go to soon? Oh.
In a quiet little town in Belgium, the epic battle for honor and glory is about to unfold. Zemst is once again the heart of Europe's biggest curling league. With 29 teams from 8 mighty nations, the competition is heating up on the coldest surface known to man. The stage is set for a historical new chapter. Watch the epic unfolding of the new season. Will the reigning champion dominate the series? Or will N19 rise up and revive old glory? Are the Tigers the dangerous outsiders? Or could it be the desperate housekeepers? We welcome hard sweeping power from the east, dazzling charm from the north, strategic battle plans from the south, and nerves of steel from the west. We're going to see devastating duck duels and rock-solid wisdom from Stone Good. We may not have Canada's heroic Homan, Matt's badass Stars and Stripes, or a Swedish Viking princess like Anna. But our league forges its own legends. Meet the magician, Peekaboo Caro, the little general, Gatling Gun Tom, the GOAT, Mustache Man, and don't forget the Walter. We'll express our uncensored opinion. Celebrate only the very best of shots and seduce you with our sweet voices. Because that is what we do. We simply love curling, and we are devoted to bring this exciting, roaring game out into the world.
What a play!
Good morning, curling fans. Welcome in to the show. We've got some 2 matches today. First one off is Curling Cubs versus Team Gillard. I actually learned how to pronounce their name. I actually asked them, so it is Gillard. So that's something.
That's good. It's not like Worcester sauce where you have a long word and it's pronounced as Worcester
sauce. Yeah, exactly. But we'll get that going. But good morning to everybody. Glad to see you in. And now I just realized I didn't start the poll, but we'll get the poll going soon enough so you guys can pick your winners. Should be a pretty exciting match this morning. Couple of our junior teams here. We like to see that fairly well matched up. Good balance today. I don't know. How are you doing, Pim? We missed you yesterday here on the stream.
Yeah, it has been a couple of busy days and weeks lately. I have expanded the family with a small child, a baby, as you would.
Yes, that's what a normal person would call it. Yes.
Yeah, we have a tiny human in the house, and that's a very demanding, tiny little human. But no, she's very, very sweet, and we're all super happy. But that was the reason I was not here on stream, but I will be here today because I noticed that I am trailing 2 points in the prediction game, so it's going to be an important day for me as well, but an important day for a lot of teams here at Curling Club Zems because it's the final day of the season, 2024-2025 season, where we have so many questions, and now we'll have some answers right here. Who is the champion in A, B, C? Who's promoting? Who's relegating? Maybe some more questions, John. Do you have more questions?
Yeah,
for the teams?
who's coming back? Who's leaving? Tim, good morning. Good to see you. Welcome in. Always happy to have you here. Missed you yesterday. I was all alone doing this by myself. You would have been proud of me trying to sound somewhat excited about a match where I was trying to manage 8 cameras and controls and the computers and the scoreboard. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to see our setup here, but every time we do a stream, another screen is added to the hardware setup. So we are watching 50 billion screens here and a whole lot more buttons. So people say, "Oh, why don't you do this and this and this?" Well, I count 2 hands.
Yeah.
John has 2 hands. There's just a limitation to what we can do.
If you could see, like right now, I'm looking at. Oh, it's only 7 screens, not 8. It's 7. I have 3, the 3-headed monster that I use to control the scoreboard and the telestrator and everything. Then we have everything else. And maybe someday we'll give a behind-the-scenes look at what we do here and how this is all set up. But let's talk about the match at hand. And let's take a look at the current standings. So we can see Harakata and Ruan. They've already played all of their matches. They are guaranteed to go up. The way it's set up, we have 4 teams being promoted from League C because we have the 2B divisions. So 2 will go into Pool A, 2 will go into Pool B, or I guess Pool 1 and Pool 2 since we're using A and B for these leagues. But there's still a lot to play for. Once you get down to the 3rd through 8th, there's still a lot of games left to be played. Last night, Team Gillard played. Well, yesterday, Team Gillard played 2. They won 1. They lost 1. They played Wipe My Ass. They lost to them 5-4. They weren't happy with the way they played. They said they were just missing stuff, and Wipe My Ass was really making things work for them. So, they've got that. We've got the Cubs. They lost yesterday to Stain Snoopers, so that's another 2 points for Stain Snoopers there. But Belgian Cubs still not out of the promotion thing, so there's a lot of points to play for, a lot of positions, and we're going to see some good stuff here.
Yeah, I'm excited for this match, and we have junior teams. Always kind of nice to see the young new generation of curling showing up in our curling league and maybe promoting to the top of the top. Maybe we're just announcing them the juniors, but who knows? In 10 years, 15 years, they could be on the Olympics, and then they would kind of look back where did it all started, and they would find our footage.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they go,
could happen.
Those guys were so mean to them.
Yeah, they could have been great, but those 2 guys, they hammered them, and then they decided to quit curling and pursue other dreams and be successful at those, obviously. But yeah, like for this matchup, Sean, do you want to make some predictions already, or do you want to kind of have a quick peek first at what's happening here in League C? A lot of foreign teams, new teams with Harikata, Ruan, Steen Snoopers, 3 foreign teams signed up for this league, and they're looking to promote. So they're going to step up their game as of next season. Team Gillard could join them as a fourth in the promotion setup here, perhaps.
Yeah, they're already. If we update the standings just mentally here, it's like Wipe My Ass 5 points, Stain Snoopers 5 points, Gillard with 4, the Cubs with 2. You know, anything can happen, and I think there's even a few matches that have been played that might not be representative here, because I think College Boys and 2800 have played all of their matches, but I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes the Federation doesn't give us updates on the lower leagues, so we have to figure that out. But no, I think it's time we jump into predictions. I'm not sure if they've already started or if they're getting ready to go. But so we'll do our predictions really quick. We'll jump back to the booth, pop up the predictions. As you can see, I am leading this season-long match 10-12. Last night we had a rare draw on things, so on casts. So neither of us scored any points. So that leaves Pim to make his decision first, since I was the correct winner last time.
Yeah, I have the feeling I've made a lot of first predictions lately, and really trying to catch up. I was hoping the housekeepers would bail me out yesterday. Sebastian, I'm looking at you, Brecht, everybody, Bram, especially you, Bram, who's not here in the booth. You guys disappointed me. You turned me down, yeah. But this is a new game, new chances here, and my pick, since I have a Broomy at home who popped out a curling cup, I'm going for the Belgian Cups. That's
Cubs
my
are
pick here.
Yellow. Well, then I am going to counter pick. I really, really like Team Gillard. The last time they were here, they really put on a display, really put on some good performances. I think even yesterday they played really well, even despite the loss. So I'm feeling nothing less than perfection from them today. If not, I will be very disappointed.
But I think it's a flip coin game. It was so hard. I was driving all the way up here, kind of weighing out my options, and it's a 50-50 here. I guess for a lot of people out there, unless you're a parent, then obviously you're rooting for the other team to lose.
Yep.
But
You're rooting for your own. You're rooting for your children to win.
Yeah,
How about
true.
that?
That's better. That makes more sense.
All right. So with that, let's jump out onto the ice. I think they have already started, so we'll catch up and see what's going on. Or are they throwing?
No, they have started.
Okay. It's hard to tell sometimes when they just let stones go through. So.
Yeah, but I'm counting already 2 stones in the house, and that is a subtle indication that perhaps they have started their game.
So I will see if I can catch up with the scoreboard.
Catch up.
Figure out who has the hammer. All right. Gillard has the hammer. Why did it jump for that? We didn't want to do that.
All right. So first end here with the Belgian junior team, Team Curling Cups, Team Koffiekoeken, as I've announced them on Instagram, versus the English breakfast team, Team Gillard. So let us know who you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Koffiekoeken or brown sausages with beans and...
Hey, English breakfast is good. Coffee cooker versus an English breakfast. Beans on toast with a little side of bacon. And we will get the skip microphones going here.
Yeah! Good up! Oh!
Tess has learned a thing or two from Caro, getting that voice out. Gets the hit, but unfortunately just kind of rolls off to the side.
Anywhere we're in, fine. Give Max
So early advantage for Team Gillard. They've got 2 stones sitting in the house.
Opting to come over from the left side of the sheet, which is typical for English teams. They like to
drive on the left side.
Yeah.
This one coming down nicely. I want this one to stay above the tee. A little bit heavy. Is Tess going to be able to sweep this one through?
Nice.
Nope, does sit in the house.
Tim throwing in an extra taunt, mentioning that Scottish breakfast is apparently better.
I have no idea what a Scottish breakfast is.
What is the difference? Is it
Is it iron brew and a cigarette? This one going to get the hit. Is the shooter going to stay? It does, and settles down into shot position. So good stone.
maybe it's with black
Just
pudding
nose. Just here.
or what's it
barrier.
called?
No, I think
heavy-
that's yeah.
heavy
Tim's gonna have to
barrier, heavy
explain
barrier.
that one. Because yeah, I can't think of anything different.
There was one
And
time-
Whoa.
which it says a lot about me since my last name is
Never.
McLennan. I do have Scottish roots,
Yeah.
and I don't know. This one going wide.
Right.
So break for Curling Cubs. Let's see if they can do something. What they're going to do with it. Looks like, yep, going to throw up a guard. Haggis. That's the, that's it. The black haggis, black pudding, and a fried bread. Oh yes, if it's Scottish, it has to be fried. There has to be something fried in there. Deep fried. Just wanting this one sitting on the other side of that center line, just really not curling over. A little bit heavier than they would like. That's going to probably get swept through to the back. I'm not sure if it will get all the way through. Nope, does not. I'll tell you what, I will do the poll in between ends so I don't mess up Tim's
Oh yeah.
camera work.
There's no separation really. So, well, there's no difference. So we just.
And
go
I
off
think
the
with
weight.
the English
It's
style
not
and the
black
Scottish and all that breakfast, I can live without the black pudding. That's like
I mean,
the
I'll
only
yell at
part
you
that
still,
I'm
but-
not a
Oh yeah.
huge fan of.
And there was one time where I had English breakfast. I was in Dublin, and I was confused. I picked a piece of
Yes.
black pudding, assuming
Yeah.
that was a chocolate brownie, and that was a very unpleasant surprise.
Yes, that is 100% not the same. Oh, brilliant double there. Great. Both yellows out of there. That is fantastic. All right, that's my one F-bomb for the day, for the match. Yesterday I didn't use it at all. I used words like beautiful and gorgeous, so I'll have to remember that. Going for a hit on this one. Guess they're not really, or
I think if read up against it is probably better
Yeah,
because they're down to the last stone. Team Gillard sitting 3 here with the hammer, so Gillard having an option to score 3 in the first end. So
Yeah.
basically they have to make a draw where it's more difficult to take it out and kind of erasing or eliminating those other red stones. Just off in the 12 foot.
this one is curling over there. It goes crossed over, maybe a little bit heavy. Is that going to get over enough? I'm not sure. Ben's trying to sweep this to keep it a little bit straight. Oh,
Like it.
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Pick it out.
They
Yeah.
have an option to take it out, but definitely a grey stone. They're forcing Team Gillard to do a takeout, hitting the yellow stone on the right
Yeah,
angle.
we just
Needs a
need
bit
a
of a
tiny
weight.
piece of it. Even if the
Right.
back one goes, it's fine.
It's,
Yeah. Wanting this to be just a
Pick it out.
little bit outside the nose,
So a bit less weight.
right side here. Even a nose hit would send it away.
Willow, get
Yeah.
ready.
And could hold the shooter as well. But that freeze that Mona threw, very difficult shots. You really can't underestimate that one.
yeah, so important because if you
Yes!
miss that freeze, all of a sudden it's no takeout for 4.
Oh,
It's something you really don't want to have.
Yeah, straight.
Hauling him off, now trying to hold it straight. That is going to get it, peels it off. Loses the shooter, but that red in the back stays, so that is going to be a 3 for Team Gillard. Good strong start here. Nicely thrown stone there from Ben to finish off the end. Very good hammer efficiency, taking 3 on your end. So now while we have a chance, I'm going to put up the poll. If that influences your decision, chat, there you go. Oh, where did my thing go? All right. Stop touching things. They're definitely not waiting for us. They're moving quite quickly through this.
Well, never.
Spelling things wrong, trying to type on my lap.
Nice shot. Very nice.
One more here. Here we go. And so the poll is open. Oops, no, we don't want to add the option. How do I delete this? Oh. Do your thing.
You have to see a bit of stone and slidings there.
I accidentally added an option that I don't want.
And then you type in
Oh.
I don't know, and then move on from there.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
They've sorted it. Taps that one through.
Same again. Exact same.
All right, so the poll is open. Get your picks in, chat.
Never.
Keeping them off it. This one
Peace
feels
out.
a bit on the wide side.
Yeah, push it, Fred. Push it.
Trying to push it. Unfortunately, just not going to make it over. So, another early break for Curling Cubs. Yep, throwing up guard. Now, we have a couple of new players for Team Gillard that they did not have last time. Willow and Eleanor, they were not here with the team last time. Always good to see a bit of a rotation with the younger teams, get a lot more players into the games. Needing this one to curl or sweeping it, but it also feels like it's on the heavier side. This might come down into the house. Just want to let this one curl over. They should be finishing it right there, though. Maybe should have jumped half covered.
I think it works.
I think Nose gets it.
Good morning, Wayne. Wayne saying, I would have
Heavy
chosen the
barrier,
team I
heavy
chose
barrier.
anyway, to not say who I chose. Yes, we have no influence on it, but yeah, actually, I wonder if I don't know
Whoa.
would be a popular
Fred,
choice to add.
Fred.
I mean, then again, that's what a draw
Oh,
is too. If
Fred.
you're saying a draw, then you're saying I don't know.
That's
All
true.
the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
Ooh, is this a double potentially?
No, doesn't
Nope.
quite get the curl over. Does peel it off, and
That's
sure
very nice.
stays though.
Yeah, I like that one. What a service there, cleaning the stones for the teammates. Cortez, and even a double clean job there, making sure no dirt sticks underneath stone. Sometimes you tend to forget, but here at Curling Club Zemst we have initiations, so there's always a risk of having bits and pieces of dirt.
It's not a risk. It's just an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. You just have to make sure you get it. Test skip of these Curling Cubs, throwing out of the second position. Needing this one to curl over, just wanting a guard. Feels a bit on the heavier side. This is going to come into the house. Will that curl over enough. Gets it half covered, but that leaves a fairly straightforward double. Yep, we're seeing Ben just go for that. Ooh, strong push out from Eleanor. Little bit of a wobble, but she sorted
Really
it
gotta
out.
move it, Fred. Really gotta move it.
Good sweeping there.
Trying to curl this over. I think she pushed it out a little bit when she stumbled and just whiffs it. Unfortunate. That's always the danger when you going for a higher weight. You push out a little bit too strong and you know, little wobbles, and then next thing you know, your line is off. See Tess with another guard here. Another attempt at a guard. Cover up those two in the house. Needs this one to curl over a little bit. Gets it partially covered.
Like
will
that,
cause some
setup.
problems. Yeah, it actually takes away kind of a run back. The run back double is going to be much
Fred.
trickier.
I think just barrier, maybe heavy barrier.
Ben disagrees with me.
This one, even if we're here. Yeah.
But not the worst thing in the world if he gets rid of that middle yellow and then leaves the shooter at an angle to go after the shot stone later. So.
This one was pushed outside a bit.
A little bit, yeah. I think his sliding may have been in, so he pushed it out, maybe overcorrected. And with that weight, is it going to have time to come back? Nope, that does not. So here you go, Cubs with another opportunity, and really just a biter on the top of the house would could give them a third shot.
Yeah, and even any kind of guard, making it just harder for Team Gillard to remove those two stones, and then you can always score the third point with the last stone. If you play it too deep, then you might leave double takeout options. Any kind of guard would work, I guess.
Yep. We have Hannah. For those of you might remember, she was our first video superstar here on Kurdia TV. She had the first viral short 3 years ago. I think like 80,000 views when we were only averaging about 800 at the time.
Not curling enough. Sitting
weight is
wide.
there, but yeah, that's just unfortunately just stayed wide. Leaves that center open.
If we get this one here, it's really nice. And if we get here, it's perfect. Yeah.
Second attempt here to take him out.
Well, no, I think from what I understood, going to be, well, yeah, a takeout, but much lighter on this one, maybe hoping to just kind of get it in there.
Really got to go, really got to go.
Yeah, this one feels wide. I think we're on that other yellow guard. And pushes the yellow in. Does get rid of one of them, you know, as you do.
That's fine.
But doesn't really change much. Does actually makes it a little bit more. There's a lineup back there, and you can actually get to the nose. But Tess is going to close that off.
Yeah, one good center guard, and the Cubs could come back and score 2 or 3 of their own.
Only for the speed. This one, the weight looks okay, but it does feel wide. Is that going to curl over enough? No, that's going to be tick off the red. Or no, hashtag John's wrong. It is wide and leaves the center.
Now there is a
again.
double takeout option there.
Make them have a draw for 1 or 2. Hold it there.
Anything slightly off nose should do the trick here, and then
off nose either side would work, and leave a shooter and kind of clog up the middle, would make it difficult for them to even score the Cubs.
Yeah.
It would be a good setup for a steal for Team Gillard.
Yeah, with that redstone, they're biting the 12-foot. That would even kind of force the Cubs
even
to
if
either
it's
draw
just
for
no
one or
back,
blank.
still basically blocks their shot. Heavy barrier.
Oh, that's a
They
neat
need to add
term.
more.
Barrier, as opposed to bumper or so. All right, I like the Englishisms that we've got here. That's why I like having the teams from all the different countries, just how they call certain things. This one coming down nicely, got some weight. Ooh, hashtag John's wrong. Only ticked that a little bit. And swear jar from young Ben Gillard there, dropping the F-bombs before I could get the microphone muted.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs, they had 2 failed attempts at placing a good center guard there, but then they weren't punished by Team Gillard, who missed quite a few takeouts in this end so far. And now if Mona is able to put a nice center guard, and Team Gillard, they probably realized they had a shot at breaking down the setup, and they missed that opportunity to do so.
Yep. Couple flash guards there, or flash takeouts. This one feeling a bit wide. Is that going to curl over? I mean, a little bit of a tick off that yellow would help them out, but I feel like it's a little bit on the light side.
Yeah.
So
Free
their
time in a
own
row.
mistake
We
there
just get one out
again.
and give up 2.
Yeah, just send one in there and
right? Pick it out. If we're heavy and wide, we'll get the back one anyway.
There's also, I guess, the option to draw behind those
Bit
yellow
wider.
guards, but I don't know if that's
We can
that
always get the
easy
back
to
one
get
as
it
well.
buried.
yeah, I mean they could
We're giving up 2, but
come in
Opposite
over
of the
there
line
and
about
try to
that.
get better than that red,
as
but
long
or
as
the
it's
yellow, but it's a little bit difficult. And
forward,
honestly, if
just
this
get one
one
out.
curls over enough,
We'll
they could
probably
still
roll, but
potentially double them out. But I think they're just more happy to get rid of one and then force them to draw for a second.
The worst case is a flash stone.
Oh no, that catches the guard. He was a little bit wide, wrong side of that center line.
This leaves a draw for 3 here, tying the scoreboard, and you could already see by the body language, even before the stone was near the house, that this was a missed stone. And now, I would say open draw, but they still have to squeeze it in between those guards. But they have a little bit of backing with the yellow stones in there.
I feel like this is too much ice that they've given this broom position before, so either Tess feels like they just haven't been on the broom, or she's just not quite got the ice position yet. This one can be a little more firm because I want to make sure it's there. It needs to curl over. They've got the backing. Kind of with a little waddle along with it, but that is perfect. Tucks it right in. Wow, you can't ask for a better one. That is a marvelous stone.
And question here: what if Team Gillard would have thrown this stone? Then it would also could have been a nice 4-1.
Exactly.
Was this the zone Team Gillard had to go for?
Yeah, I think they maybe thought that it wasn't there, and that even throwing a draw in was, I mean, even if it caught on that other one, the top one, they're still just forcing them to 2, or like cutting the damage to, minimizing the damage to 2, but instead going for the takeout, missing a bit wide. They leave that opportunity. You know, Mona hitting that perfect draw. I mean, that's to honestly squeeze it right there in onto the button. That was so good. That yeah, that's going to be a real boost to the Cubs after dropping 3 in the first. They come right back with their own 3 in the second.
Yep.
And tie things up. Laura, is it Laura or Laura?
Laura.
Laura.
Yeah.
will be starting things off here in end number 3 for the Curling Cubs. Laura is also a new face to the stream. We haven't seen her before.
Oh.
Another one of the young curlers here at Curling Club Zemst.
Double sisters setup here. Laura. Oh no, it's not a double sister. Marika is alternate for this game.
Yeah. For a moment, one of the longer shots, I actually thought Marika was the one throwing. It's like, wait, that's not Marika.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of sisters in the junior program. We have Mirte Vroke,
Yeah.
Siva, Hannah Mona, Laura Marike.
Well, Ziva retired. She stopped playing this year, but she was here yesterday watching. She might be here today. Haven't seen the crowd. We got into the booth early.
And then we have Britt and Jana, also
Yep.
sisters.
And while not brothers and or sisters, you have basically all of Wipe My Ass is related to each other in some way. That one, a little bit strong, goes through the house. Tess saying, hey, let's try to bring this one in behind. To see if I can get some scores from the other matches going on, or that are supposed to be going on.
Yeah, I noticed that Team Ries is on the ice playing. Normally they should play against Ramstein, but Ramstein decided to do a no-show.
But they forgot. Apparently the rumor is they thought that match was later. Nobody is ready. One of their players is here. But that doesn't make for an interesting match 4 against 1.
If we bump this, that's fine as well.
They need a new team captain over on that team. If he's not able to get his team on the ice at the right time, then
yeah, new team secretary.
Yeah. Because the team secretary is basically the only one who receives the official Excel sheet with the dates and times.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to share that information with the team.
Only for weight.
Wanting to hit one out. Not quite got the weight for that. That's going to curl off of it. And will they be able to get it buried? Actually, I think this is going to end up sitting in the middle. Ben is happy with that one, so who am I to argue with the skip? Tess asking if you could see that from the other end. It's like you could see that from the parking lot, Tess. Well, I think they're just kind of playing a little practice match over there. I think Marika is out on the ice helping out her dad.
Yeah, her dad is the only representative of Team Ramstein.
Straight out of her hand, she starts yelling. Looks good, but then once it starts to go, it will go. This is going to just miss it, papers it through, gets rid of the red. Good sweep there from the girls.
And good call, kind of calling the line call on your own stone. Important line call there to make sure this stone not catching the guard. And mentioning the parking lot, I think a couple of car alarms just were triggered.
Strike weight. What handle? I prefer this, but we can go there if you want. Go this.
Going for the hit here.
Double takeout, maybe.
Fred!
I feel like she pushed that a little bit inside on the release.
Yeah, all the way. Fred. Oh, Fred.
Come on, Fred.
All the way.
Trying to get him to hold it. I think this will get on the nose.
Watch the roll. Push that one. Roll it, roll it.
Rolls a little bit, gets a
fine.
little bit tighter to that other one.
Decent alternative result there.
Yep. They're going to hit this one out. A roll either way would be all right with this one, although if it rolls to the right side over the yellow, they'd want it to be like straight over the nose. They're very likely wanting this to roll a little bit out to the outer side of the house. Another early call for the sweep. Mona and Laura trying to get their brooms down. Well, nose hit, not so bad, but does bring a double into play.
I think it's still nice. I mean, they don't have the hammer, so having those two
I think we play this
stones
one.
sitting in the front of the house.
Same way.
And there's a good opening here for the Belgian Cups.
Yeah, it does leave that center clogged up, forcing Gillard to throw hits, potentially lose
Whoa.
stones.
Never.
Ooh, feels wide,
Never mind.
calling
Sorry.
off the sweep. And yeah, this one is going to slide right on by.
Yeah, skip call the never, and I think that's quite obvious from this angle.
Yeah, that's not something you want to hear on a takeout. You know, when there's that much weight, it's never going to curl over.
Missed by about a meter, which translates to 3 foot, 4 foot.
3 feet 3 inches.
Yeah, or
3 feet is enough.
3 feet.
Or 197.2 beans.
Yeah.
All three of them sweeping, trying to get this one down, wanting to make sure this gets over the hog line. Encouraging them to get it over. There, gets it over. Good sweep from the girls there. Just enough.
Yes. Well, up, 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 up.
Ben is saying something and
Up.
gets a piece of the yellow. Does he get enough to get it out? He does. Shooter goes away, gets it around the guard, gets that one in the back.
And as long as the Cups kind of if they taunt Team Gillard to throw these kind of takeouts, then chances are Team Gillard can only score 1. So in that case, the Cups are aiming for a good result here.
Calling for a draw here, trying to get around that yellow in the center. Pressing a little bit in, calling for this, only for the weight. This is a bit outside. Is that going to curl back around?
If it's not getting buried, then it's better to kind of leave it top of the house. Maybe Gillard will go for the
We
hit
can
and roll
also play the
here.
draw. Yeah.
Alright, Fred given the option to hit and roll or a draw, wanting to hit and roll.
Whoa. Straight, straight, straight. Yeah, yeah.
Needing calling for the straight sweep to hold the line. She gets off of it.
Yeah.
And that is going to get the hit.
Perfect.
And then the roll
Really
over.
nice.
That's perfect.
Excellent stone.
Red with the fantastic stone. I'm doing alliteration. That's why I get to use it again.
Fantastic Fred.
Fantastic Fred. All right, so now the Cubs are a little bit in trouble. Those center guards
Well, they can still
work
do
against
it.
them. They can do a run back, so it is their own stone they're running back.
And a good run back would give him back a decent setup with a center guard and the stone in the house.
Going for the corner freeze here. Try to get something down that they can use at an angle.
That works.
All right, that works, yeah.
Risk is that Team Gillard to do the kind of similar.
Another hit and roll, and double stack it, and that's exactly what they're setting up with.
There's an off chance where if the stone is slightly outside,
I don't want to
clear their own red stone.
It's better just peeling it out than.
Yeah, to be honest, well,
But
even if it peels out that yellow, is it the? Well, actually, that would be a bad. This is got to be a very precise stone. He can't afford to be outside, but he can't afford to be too inside and peel off that yellow on the front because that leaves an open takeout for the Cubs. So.
Straight. Yes. Well.
Wanting to hold the line, calls him off. This one feels a bit on the outside. Is that going to? Oh, that is going to be the worst case scenario. Catches their own red. Doesn't push it out of the house. Shooter stays in the house as well. Is that a?
Yeah, lucky for them, they have 2 red stones in the house still. Although the yellow stone is hitting second shots, but there's still an option here. With, a good takeout to force Gillard to score 1. Takeout rolling back to the middle. They have a somewhat corner guard thing there that could be helpful.
Whoa! Whoa!
Quick call, then calls them off. They do want a little roll back to the middle, so they want to make sure it hits. But I think they should have held on to it a little bit longer. Gets rid of the red.
Well, it's decent. I mean, the whole purpose is make sure it's out, and if you can get a secondary result, that's even better. But
there's no point nose, right?
My priority is getting the stone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like peeling it out is the same.
And this is so good for the Cubs because they are sitting shots with a biter stone, so even taking it out doesn't give Team Gillard a second point because
even
it's biting.
If we get that one as well, it's blank.
So this yellow stone actually is sitting perfect for the Belgian Cubs.
Yeah. Looking at an option.
If we get the roll, it's for 2. Nose isn't 2. So we need a bit.
They're going for a.
They need to be off nose. I think the ideal is they want to come in, get this one off,
and then trickle.
And just trickle. But he's calling, barrier weight, so he's looking a little bit heavier. That might be difficult to. That's going to be difficult to hold it. Catches it on the nose, so that is just 1 for Gillard. Puts them back in the lead, but gives the Cubs the hammer. And right now, the early votes, a lot of votes going for Team Gillard, 67% versus 33% of the Cubs. Last night, we had 2 people vote for a tie and got it, so that's the first time that has happened.
Yeah. It just tells you how close the race for the championship is. We had 3 teams in the running: Glasgow Rangers, Housekeepers, Team Vreken, and then both Vreken and Housekeepers tied against the Rangers. I didn't see the game. I remember last season where Vreken Rangers was kind of a full takeout game, so kind of going for that tight win. Maybe
recent.
that was a similar situation yesterday.
Yeah, we have a 1-1 match going on sheet C between the Rangers and Staingood.
Never anything. Never.
This one coming in a bit on the heavy side. That's going to settle in right around the tee line.
I think a hit and roll to the side of the house is the play we go here.
Yep. Oh, another gosh darn lefty. I didn't realize that Laura was lefty. We have so many left-handed players in this club comparatively to the general population. This one a little wide, not going to get it out. Early advantage for Team Gillard. Gonna throw up a center guard. As I look over on sheet C, I see a lot of stones in play.
Really got to go. Well, line's fine, line's fine. Yeah, both of you. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Go on, get it over, get it over. All the way, keep going.
On the lighter side, it's going to get over. Will it have enough to curl?
That's fine, nice.
And does get it onto the center line. Not sitting in guard position though, so they're going to try this one again.
Yeah, this could work.
Yeah, it leaves the center guard for the Cubs to roll in behind. Get on that button early is what the whole goal is.
At this stage, the center guard could be useful for both teams.
Pushed it outside. Yep, trying to get that weight, and I think she just, pushed it. She just needs to work on her release a little bit on those heavier weights. Trust in your push-off. Don't use your hand to get it extra. She didn't even need to go that hard, really. I think.
If we come
Yeah,
in,
because
that's
the hit and
nice
stay
as
is what
well,
you're going for. You probably don't want to lose the shooter. And
Oh,
then get
Mona.
smacked by Mona.
I thought first she was just going for a pat on the back, but that was clearly a little hard.
It's a bit wide. As long as we're in, make sure we're in. If it's wide.
This one's going to be wide,
needs
so
to be in
Ben's
here.
saying let's make sure it gets into the house,
Well,
at least cause some problems. Don't want it too
Nice,
deep, don't want to
that's
leave
fine.
a double. Probably is, but no reason to go for that.
Als naar buiten zijn we, ja.
If it's outside, they've got that extra option to hit and then roll over underneath, so...
Wij gaan geen punten op de shot.
Don't need a lot of weight on this one. Just enough to move it out. Feels also wide. Yep, that's going to catch on that other one. Nose hits, gets rid of it, but gets rid of the wrong one. No rollover. Actually, the no
All right,
rollover
here,
on that
we're
one is
hitting
probably
both,
okay.
Up to you.
So it does leave that
I
red
want to be
open.
here, but we can draw here or we can hit and roll.
Then giving Eleanor
there.
options.
Barrier.
Going for a hit and roll. Oh,
Whoa.
pushed
Never.
it. big push on the release. I thought she had enough speed from her slide out, but she felt otherwise. This one is going to be wide and no chance. Anna dropping her broom there, and nobody following the tradition of dropping their brooms too. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, no?
Minder ijs, Hanna. Die stenen gaan daar echt recht door.
All right, Tess realizing that the ice is going very straight, so giving less ice. I think she was a little bit wide on that last one, but probably seeing that weight, it's not moving. So,
As a curler, you never throw off broom. It's always something wrong with the ice. And
Yep.
then you go,
see, now she's screaming. So does she feel like that's inside? It looks just fine. It's gonna be just outside the nose. Probably will roll underneath their own. Hashtag John's wrong. It rolls to the side, but it does stay in the house. So, no need to sweep that. Probably needed even less ice, or slightly, a little bit less weight.
Yeah, hit and roll, and I think the double goes.
Ooh, fancy shot here, going for a hit and roll. With a
Yeah.
falling on the sweep. This one's a bit wide. Will it catch that one in the back? Does catch the one in the back at least.
It's fine.
And slides out. Oof. That's a rough thing to hear. It's fine.
and now curling clubs, they are still dealing with that center guard there. Again, they can draw behind it, but they need to deal with it at some point because
I think with as high as it is, I think it's not as big of a fault, big of an obstacle. I think if that was down closer to the house, that would be something to take care of. But I think they could probably use that to their advantage right now and get something in behind it.
yeah, that's what they should do. I mean, it's pretty straight, the ice, so imagine if they ignored center guard and all of a sudden Team Gillard puts a stone somewhere like top 4 behind center guard. It's a thing the Cubs don't want at this stage, having the hammer.
Right.
Oh.
So making a good draw themselves makes sense.
Hello?
Plenty of room around the guard, but I think it's just, yeah, this side is just running so straight, and this is a bit heavy, so not really gonna roll away very much.
And that's the thing with the way the side is so straight. The guard can be an annoying stone. Team Gillards still clearing the yellow stones over there.
Double opportunity here. Weeper's staying off it. No call from Ben as of yet. Looks like this one is a bit on the wide side. Misses the top one, gets the back, rolls a bit to the outside.
Hanna, ofwel naar achter, ofwel wegspelen. Oké.
Kind of preferring the draw, so wanting to get behind the guard, get to that. It's like basically now it's a race to the button.
Ik denk fair, maar ik weet niet zeker.
Tess not sure if they're shot or not, so
I think yellow is shot.
I think so too, but Tess saying otherwise, so changing up to a hit over there.
Ja! Wow, wow, wow. Ik heel naar buiten. Ja. Je hebt het niet mee.
You have to wonder, we've seen so many shots up that side be wide.
feeling him,
Is there negative ice out there? Is it drifting or?
Oh,
It could be counterintuitive, but at some point,
Very light there.
if you've seen so many stones stay wide, go out, you have to trust that information and give a little bit less ice.
Yeah, I think as long as it goes to the
I also feel like a couple of the
So-
throwers have been overthrowing
their
their stones, like really not trusting their
Yeah,
push
they're
out and then just giving that little bit extra, which one gives it too much speed to curl and two possibly pushes it offline. So
Yeah, especially having the hammer. If you go for the takeout, you really want that shooter to stay in the house, serving as a an extra point. You don't need that big weight.
Ben indicated this one's wide. He said, yeah, it's drifting. Just
Very-
misses that one. Wow.
They're all drifting way too
And quite a lot of misses on the takeouts. Is it something, John, at some point you would reflect on and say, well, if you have 8 stones to play, if we ask 6 takeouts and 4 out of 6 are misses, maybe we should revert to a strategy with a little bit more draws?
I think so. Yeah, maybe just go away from what's not working.
Especially if you notice that your opponent has an equal amount of misses on the takeouts. If you switch over to draws and then your opponent starts to miss takeouts, things could become interesting.
Exactly.
Ellen? Ellen?
Center guard is still there.
Looking for the curl, but like this one just is staying straight and even feels like it's drifting. So yeah, there is maybe something on that side of the ice. We haven't seen any stones come over from the other side, so just misses that one. So no little tick over, but that should settle down in the back of the house.
Ja, ik hoor.
But yeah, not a whole lot of curl out there. I think they can really be tight with the ice if they're going to come from that side, because I think
I
we're
guess so,
seeing
yeah.
it just drift outside.
I'm just thinking, even if we get this right, they'll just follow and get 2.
And this is
This-
kind of a
this is that
similar
over that.
situation with the first
This is
end,
second.
where they could draw.
That's first, it's second.
They have a little bit of a backing
That's
stone
what I think,
sticking
like,
behind T
'cause
line,
even if
making
we
it
get
harder
this
to take it
I
out.
think it's the same result. I don't know. I'll see how much of that I can see.
They are looking for another takeout based on Ben saying, I'll see how much
I think
you can see in
It's
stone.
the same result, whatever. They get 2.
Because a draw to the button works, and even if it
Yeah.
doesn't find
Yeah, go for the
that
back
curl,
one.
it still sits in front of the yellow stone, making it harder to take out.
Exactly.
Not gonna do. Yeah, although going for the front one, we get double, but yeah, with this drift, we get the outside one.
Oh. Ben feeling like there's drift on the ice, so he's going to play for that. And yeah, that one is really just going out there. Catches one, gets the other.
And I don't think this is a good result here, because just tapping that front yellow may have bumped yellow in a shot position, leaving an open draw for 2 here. They're looking at it.
Naar rechter.
I think they have an open draw for 2 here because of that small kiss. Overhead is not conclusive because the side of the house is not in frame. My guess is this is a draw for 2.
I think if they're going for the draw, they feel the same. Just wanting to make sure it gets there.
Ik kan snelheid.
That is easily around. Yeah, you just see it. There's not much curl there in the center of the ice now. It needs to stop.
Is it too heavy?
No. Ben's going to try to make it too heavy,
It's in.
but that is going to just bite the back. And so that is going to be a score of at least 1.
They're looking at it.
They might have to measure.
I'm leaning towards yellow being second shot.
I think Frank's going out there to measure.
Yeah.
The only people who should be looking at it, though, are the vice skips. But Frank's saying, hey, let's measure it. So I think he just wants some camera time.
Yeah.
If we look at the overhead, we can see the top of Frank's head.
Brother Frank, as we would refer to Frank here at the club.
It is not his favorite camera angle.
I'm betting his leg is going to
Block the angle. Oh, 100%. You're never gonna get. You're never gonna see the.
it's the secrets. And red is not touching, so it is yellow.
Who wants to take 3?
All right, so that is 2 for the Cubs. So they take the lead at the break, 5-4.
Yeah, and did that small kiss, tapped yellow into a second shot position right there with the last stone of Team Gillard's.
I think yellow was already in shot. It just didn't move it far enough because I think they had already said earlier that they felt like it was shot, so that's why they went for the takeout after it. But we're a little bit wide.
Anyway, this is a 2-pointer for the Curling Cups. Good hammer efficiency taking the lead here halfway in this game. Team Gillard versus the Curling Cups. It is a very close game. I think the bottom line or the story of the game so far is missed takeouts. I've seen I've lost track of counting all of the missed takeouts.
I stopped counting that, but I did notice that on that end, every shot, even though they were missing wide, they kept coming up that side. So I wonder if there was a lot more curl on the other side. Could they have done something with it? Could have solved some problems. But yeah, you had the stones sitting in the house. They wanted to take care of it. But yeah, I would probably say maybe only 1 or 2 takeouts hit that entire end. So both teams, they've got this 5-minute break. They're going to have to look at what was the cause there, what was going on. I'm sure that the coaches will have a better idea of, were they missing the broom? Was it just the fact the ice was drifting? I mean, you saw we heard Ben say, hey, it's drifting outside on a couple of on his last stones. So maybe they noticed it and they'll have to make some adjustments for the rest of the match. But so far.
And maybe they don't trust their drawaways. I think both teams, they had an LSD that was overthrown during the warm-ups. Maybe draw seems a bit difficult, or do they just lean towards takeouts because it's more fun shot to play? Because I don't think they build a strategy around making good draws, like a guard, a better draw, second draw, kind of building up some stones in the house and kind of force your opponents to tear down.
We've seen the Cubs attempt to do the build-ups, but those early stones, early draws coming into the house, just so it takes away the buildup. There's no, I mean, if you're putting stones outside, and then when they did finally try to get guards, they were wide, so they weren't actually covering what they needed to. So maybe maybe right now they're a little bit low on their guard making ability and their guard throwing. So maybe deciding that takeouts, hits prevent the big score again from the other team from having a big score. Now, if both teams are missing their takeouts, it's clear you're not going to get a lot of points in an end. I think that could have been, if one team had started making the hits there, I think we could have seen a lot of points going one way or the other. But both teams missing really kind of leaves no stones in play for a big end.
Yep. And second thing I was going to mention, Cubs, they were facing a 3-pointer on the board. Team Gillard opened the game with 3-0 or 3-love, as they would say in tennis, but then the Cubs were right back in there with their 3-ender. So I think that's also kind of a good thing for the Cubs, that they have this kind of mental stability to say, well, this is just the start of the game. This is not just a start of a trend where we are going to get hammered today. They just kept on playing and then had hammer efficiency in the fourth end, and now they're leading 4-5. So after Gillard scoring 3, that was basically a good comeback, like a mini comeback in the second end for the Cubs. So that shows that even if Gillard will score a couple of points, it's going to be an all 8-ender here today, John, I think.
I think so. Unless something dramatically happens coming out of the break, I think we're going to get this one all the way down to the last stone and the last end. Both teams playing similar levels right now. You know, they've made some shots, they've missed a lot more shots. They're both having the same struggles with the ice and with the takeouts. So, you know, it's remains to be seen what happens coming in after the break. Some teams will they both make the right adjustments? Will one team figure it out faster than the other? It's, you know, only time will tell.
Yeah. Something I also noticed, and this is leaning towards a correct pick for me with the Belgium Cups, is on the 4th position. I think Mona is playing pretty strong, even with the very few draws they do. Remember, in was it the third end where Mona threw that very, very good draw to the. No, it was the second end. It was
second end, yeah,
was the
very
second one.
tight, tight through the gap, getting it right onto the pin when it looked like there was not even really a path to it. So yeah,
and this is the second end where Ben kind of missed 2 takeouts as a 4th player, allowing Mona to come back like that. So maybe the kind of the 4th efficiency metric there could be something that's important in the following ends here.
Yeah, I feel that will be a decider in this match, the last half of this match, which 4th gets their act together and has things right. I think Ben might be thrown off a bit by, maybe his lead, his front end being wide on stuff, thinking that like maybe it throws him off, saying like, hey, okay, the broom's in the right place, they were just wide, so I'm going to leave the broom in the same position for me, and then taking for him to see, oh, it is drifting out, so even being at the broom position was wrong, and that's maybe that will help him sort it out. He did make reference to the ice drifting, so maybe he's got that sorted now in his head, but just getting a little bit thrown off because the front end was off on their takeouts. And honestly, a lot of front ends, when you're asking for takeouts, they're less accurate. They don't throw them as often, so it can throw you off if you're not sure if your broom position is correct. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, my guess is if you have kind of a number of misses and mistakes on both sides, then it will come down to the 7th and 8th stone of the 4th that will decide, okay, is this end tipping towards Cups or Team Gillard? So I think this is going to be a game decisive metric to keep an eye on. But teams are getting back on the ice, so let's see how the second game or the second part of the game will progress, and see if they have some new information from the coaches that they will bring to the table.
All right, let's jump on out there. We see them out. And chat, we are reading, you out in internet land, we are reading the chat. Tell us if we are wrong. Tell us if we are full of brown stuff, or if you agree.
I don't know if that's an official English way
of
saying things.
It's a polite way of saying the S word. Remember, it's a family show, and I don't want to pay to this.
Gotcha. Brown stuff, obviously referring to the black pudding there.
Yes. Okay, so Laura will be starting things off for the Curling Cubs here in, end number 5, as they lead at 5-4 over Team Gillard. I don't know if I'm stressing which. I've already forgotten. I asked him this morning, and now I've already forgotten. I'm probably stressing the wrong syllable. It's probably Gillard. All right, and away we go. Sweeping for weight, wanting to make sure this gets over. Wanting to bring this one into the house. And gets down there, right there, type of the button.
Yeah, good opening there to have a lead in the score. So that's
oh, I like to see this bold move from Ben, calling for the corner guard, saying, let's leave that one alone. We're going to try the build-up.
How heavy is this one?
Yeah, sweepers indicating this one is a bit on the heavier side. Line feels okay, but I think she pushed it through, so that is going to drift out to the side, and Tess going to make sure this one goes out the back. So See if that changes anything. Now, Lord being asked with a guard now. Guard up that one they've got in the middle. Often you see teams do it the opposite way, throw the guard, then the draw behind. But hey, sometimes this way is easier or more manageable. So
the good thing with this order is you don't have to deal with getting it around the guard and then trying to avoid tapping the guard, that kind of stuff.
As making sure they get this one a little bit wide so it's over, but that's just not going to curl over.
High five from Dirk,
Heavy's
the
better
mustache
here.
man.
Heavy's fine.
He is a player who
Heavy is
probably
better.
keeps an eye on things.
Yeah, he watches matches even when he's playing in batches.
Yep.
It's
Needs to go.
wants
Whoa,
this one to
straight.
curl.
All right, both of you.
That one's already curling over.
Yeah,
Will
all the way,
this set
go,
up
all
the
the way,
center
all the way,
guard
all the way,
for
curl
them?
it.
Yeah, this is the center guard the Cups kind of wanted. So if they can put another
Right.
guard in front of it, all of a sudden that redstone becomes a friend of Team Koffiekoeken.
Yep. Let's get an update from Sheet C. Rangers put up a blank in the fourth, so they go into the fifth end, leading it 3-1 over Staying Good.
If Rangers win and Steengoed loses, will Steengoed have the official relegation? Because they might have they're sitting 7th in the group. Take out Tigers 8, Steengoed 7th with just 1 win.
If this is Staying Good's last match, which I believe it is, I believe it would clinch the relegation because I believe 6th place has 6 points.
Yeah. Who did Steengoed win against? Did they win against the Brewers Ducks? I don't quite remember.
Oh.
'Cause
I can't even remember who I broadcast yesterday.
yeah. We'll ask our backstage crew sitting in the big truck outside of the building. We have a team of 20 people there supporting the stream.
Wanting this one, don't want it to touch that red one off the center line because then it becomes a
Now the gap's
yeah,
open.
no, that's the tick zone, tick rule. Do
Yeah.
they?
And they decide, they obviously they want the gap to be open. They have a corner guard, 2 roll behind. So for Team Gillard, this is a dream come true. Oh,
Never.
Eleanor nodding there.
Yep, a little bit wide. Ben saying never
Take the
needs
red,
to
take the
curl
red,
just
spread
a
across.
little bit.
Get it, it's
That
fine,
is going to catch that, so wanting to sweep it over.
That's fine.
And now again, options for the Cubs to close it down. So mistakes, but then not followed with a punishment, but followed with another mistake, and that's how the ends build up so far.
Yep.
With a good center guard, could set up the Cubs with a nice
Yeah.
opening of the game here.
Yeah, I feel like Eleanor went with a little bit too much weight. Like he's calling for barrier weight, which is just past hack, so it's not a heavy takeout. And I feel like they're just putting too much in it and getting offline, and then it just never has a chance to curl over. This one, they're just needing to get it over and then get somewhere near that center line. This one looks like it's going to come down just nice
A little
and
sweeping
settle
to
down
finish it,
in
but
there.
this is
Now
nice.
that's great. That's a great draw there.
Excellent, yeah. This is exactly what the Cubs needed.
Well, seeing how how Mona just high-fived there. Maybe that is she just has full force on everything. So maybe she was just patting Laura on the back earlier.
Yeah.
Just happens to be a very aggressive
All the way.
hand motion.
Now this needs some weight. Ben hoping for a double takeout here. Pushed it outside, perhaps. Definitely no line call so far.
Yeah, I think this one's going to catch on their own. Red out there. Yeah, I just feel like they're throwing.
Oh, no.
They're just putting too much weight into these stones, and it's gets offline and never has a chance.
And,
Their push-outs seem fine, like they're getting enough weight, but I think maybe they just don't trust it yet, and a little bit too much with the arm. And if your elbow's not perfectly in line and everything all not lined up, it's very easy to get off target.
That's a danger with pushes, even the slightest of misalignments over a distance of 40 meters results in a missed takeout.
Enkelssnelheid.
This one wide comes into the house. Just leave it at the top, I think. You don't want to leave it too... If you're not going to get it buried over in the corner, you leave it as a guard right there.
What? Yeah, could do, but if it just goes, then there's that two with a guard.
Not opting for a second double center guard.
If you'd rather whisk this one, we'll throw it.
So it still leaves the run back takeout.
Fred wanting to take care of this one in the middle, but now they have to be careful not to really leave their shooter in play in the center, although I guess it would allow them for a run back on it.
Well,
You can hear
straight!
With all of the guards, if you put some weight, it's going to hit something.
This one is curling over.
Roller shooter. That's fine.
And peels it off. Shooter rolls away. So yeah, another center guard. That's all they really need to do here.
Yeah. 2 stones in the house. Just add some guards.
Now I wonder if Ben allowed himself to get influenced by Fred there, the vice skip, saying, I want to throw this, but, knowing that the miss is not going to be good for them, he probably should have followed with his own instinct there. Needs to curl over. They want this one as a center guard. Starting to go. Yeah, this will end up.
Need to sweep to get as much curl as possible.
Yeah, I think that's closed the gap there.
That's the most important thing. And even their run back is harder, so I like the stone, to be honest. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it brings it into play with that angle raise if they want to do that.
And Team Gillard, they are facing a lot of yellow rubble in front of the house. They need to clear in order to score something on their hammer, let alone
Up.
having some hammer efficiency here.
Straight.
Calling them off, wanting to now back on.
Up.
Oh no.
Gets rid of one, but changes position, but still one more yellow out of the house, so trying to do a little damage control early. I think that needed to curl over maybe like a centimeter more, and they possibly get an angle where the run back stone comes out a little bit. But good effort there.
Trying to avoid the guards. Worst
Yeah.
case is stepping it open.
Don't want this one to open it up. This one's going to get by. This one's actually a little bit stays wide. That really just adds a little bit, but will curl around behind.
Yeah, that is good. I mean,
I like that stone, yeah.
yeah, just imagine if it stopped in front of the shot stone, then it would leave a double takeout. But getting it also around the shot stone in the back of the forefoot puts more pressure on Gillard. Now they have 2 shot stones with a guard in front of it.
Yep.
Even if it's
very
back, we
strong.
can
They
turn
could
it
have even
back.
swept it slightly deeper.
Yeah, now they have like backing. If they follow that same line, they saw that it doesn't curl that much until very late, so they can try to do the same thing. If they get it in on top, then they've got the backing.
Heavy, better hit, better hit.
Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit heavy, needs to curl,
Great.
but I think with that it's not going to.
Hard winnow. All the way,
Trying
winnow,
to
all
hold
the way,
this
all the
one
way, all the way,
straight.
all the way.
Ah, that's a brilliant follow-up there.
Yeah, I think if you're curling cups, you could clear the red stone, preferably roll in. But even if you roll out,
Oh.
it's a good stone. You just don't want to leave that red stone out there. You just need to clear it. Then there's no way Gillard can score 2, which is favorable. Tolerance is outside.
Going for the hit here, just trying to hit the red one away. That's not a bad spot to do it either. This one is going to be on the nose and pushes it out. Sure, would have liked that one to have rolled underneath, but hey, just, you know, they're sitting sitting 3 actually,
Yeah.
with
They need to-
needing
Last time we
that
came
roll
really close,
in.
like here.
You
can
need,
be
you're
here.
kind of forcing your opponent to do hit and roll for 1.
I think because last time we would have missed this. There. Same again. Come on.
So nose hit should be enough here,
Yeah, straight, straight.
but they will want this one to curl just a little bit.
Feels heavy. Will it curl enough?
Oh no, that's going to be on the outside part. That might not be enough. No, that does not.
I think yellow is shot.
That is
A steal of 1.
steal of 1 for the Cubs. Way to come out of the break. They played. I felt like the Cubs played a pretty solid end there. They took control. They had a lot of stones in play, really forced Team Gillard to do something, and came away with the steal.
Yeah, they had this kind of nice setup with stone in the house, guard in front of it on the center line, and then it was up to Team Gillard to tear it down, and they weren't able to do so. And the Cubs, they get a small steal here, but an important one, leading 6-4 with 3 more ends to play. Now Team Gillard probably will have 2 more hammers versus 1 for the Cubs. I think a bit too soon to really play the scoreboard, but I think they can indeed play a bit aggressive by putting stones in the house.
Yeah, Cubs can be a little bit. They can put more pressure. They can play to put pressure on Gillard instead of just playing to score their own. So they've got more options. And speaking of options, we're closing the poll at the end of this, at the completion of this end. So get your votes in. I almost got through without saying end events, but This one right there on the pin again.
Now, are the Cubs finding
Maybe it's better here.
their weights here? I mean, the guards were guard weight, stones in the house were in the house.
Can't be a guard. Can't be a guard. Well, straight.
Does not want this one light, wants it in the house.
Well, up. Wait only. We're not on it. Wait only. Cheers. Get it. Sweet. That's alright.
Gets into the house, but the Cubs are going to stay away from it. Going to keep this one. Just put a guard over theirs. You know, they're sitting in a really tight, good spot. So why not throw up a bunch of stones to guard it? Force Gillard to do something themselves. Sweepers don't like the weight. Feel it's a bit light.
It looks pretty decent, and they just finish it.
It gets over, and there we go.
Wow. And what a setup here from Lore. A stone on the pin and a guard in front of it. This is,
fine.
if you're a teacher, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, then you can feel like your mission is accomplished.
Yep. And it's on the center line, so that the tick rule is in effect.
Yeah.
Really wide.
If you're the master, because it's made a fort, you can feel like you've done your job, and the apprentice is ready to face the world. And missed stone here on
not quite sure what they were doing there.
No.
Was it coming with weight up that side? I wasn't sure. Were they trying to draw around? But either way, wide, high, and too hard goes to the back.
Now we have the options. Another guard. You could also try to do a small hit roll of the red one to do this kind of straight setup. But there's always a risk in throwing takeout. So
Yeah, I like the call that I see here. They're just gonna kind of come in around and try to get something in there.
Yep, makes sense.
Maybe a little bit deeper than the red one, but it's not really necessary.
Oh.
And to be honest, even a little over curl wouldn't be the worst part if it came in between the red and the run back on the yellow.
Yeah, they have a lot of tolerance there. It's a bit too heavy, and they freeze up against the shot stone. Also not the worst. Always nice if you can kind of play around with options.
Yep.
This feels heavy to me.
Yeah, it's plenty wide around the guard. Is it going to have enough time to curl over? But no, it feels heavy. I think that's going through the back. Yep. That is just going to slide. Ben's going to make sure it goes through.
Let me sit here.
Didn't quite get what Ben was pointing at there. Maybe they want to run it back.
Wide. We're wide.
This one is wide. And then it's going to drift out even further.
Yeah, get it in if you can. Alright.
Ooh. Red needs to be careful with that sweeping technique. That pushing forward like that and then lifting up the broom could be considered dumping.
Team Gillard deciding to not touch the center guards, which is not an interesting center guard for them. Yeah,
Nope.
they need to score, so they're looking for guards of their own, I guess.
No, I believe they were trying to bring that stone around behind theirs and into the house. It was just light and wide, so it never had a chance. This one just trying to get it around their guard.
Touching
Ooh,
the
it's
guard.
It's gonna be on the guard,
Yeah,
but
if it's on the guard, go for a nose hit. No, this is nice.
not too bad. Yeah.
Run back is gone, but the way the guards are now angled.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Wanting to clean them up.
yeah.
Yeah. Full weight.
And this is the important middle part of the end where you need to break down the defensive stones from your opponent in order to
Fred. Fred.
score
Needing us to
or
curl
Whoa,
over.
whoa. Straight.
Now needing to hold it straight. They want this to be a little bit off nose. And it's going to be inside part of the nose. So only peels off the one and then creates another one. Actually blocks their run back opportunity with their own red. So that was a bit disastrous for them. Honestly, needed that to be better off with the nose hit or something out on the left side.
danger with the nose hit is then you leave your shooter in a center guard position.
Exactly.
Pressure from the Cubs here with Hana throwing her third stone in this sixth end.
Dames, kijk naar voren!
Hess reminding the sweepers to look at the house so they know where they are.
It's an important skill. Sometimes you're just diving into sweeping, trusting too much on the measurement, and then forget that.
You gotta pay how it's
Yeah.
going.
Ooh. Now, is this a bit too wide? Does this leave a double takeout
Full
for
weight.
Team Gillard? I mean, they could have
Yeah.
maybe swept it deeper, like in between, trying to find the lineup with the three stones.
Light nose hit, slightly outside the nose.
Willow. Well, straight.
Now calling to hold it straight, gets it around that guard. Gets it, oh, just inside the nose. Good effort there. Just needed a centimeter or two more to the outside.
And I feel like the Cubs are just going to put a new guard.
Yeah, I think there's something right there.
Yeah, they have a good shot stone there. They have. I mean, at this stage, I think you want to just force Team Gillard to do run back takeouts. You know,
They're playing the draw to get in behind that red, so
Ik ga sneller!
this is quite wide. You don't want to leave out something out to the side that they could hit and roll with.
Niet te vrij haast.
Or to play an angle double. This one's going to be a little bit hard, so if anything, they want to get this one flat and or deeper.
interesting. And
If they can just squeeze it by that red guard, get over here. There's a double there.
it's not an easy double.
Not easy at all, but there is something there.
You have the risk of removing your own redstone there.
Yes.
There is
Honestly,
some risk
getting
in
rid
this
of that,
time.
Whoa,
getting rid of
whoa,
that red
go,
is not the
go,
worst
go.
part either. Now needing us to curl over, because yeah, they can run this red back a little bit at an angle, and there they end up on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that the Cubs, I think they should have tried and avoid by adding a guard in front of the redstone and trying instead of trying to draw in, because the run back was there. And just defending.
maybe a little too greedy,
Yeah.
trying to say, oh, we're stealing one, let's steal another, when they don't need to steal.
Ik denk van hier. Hier liggen.
And that yellow one actually hurts them now, because trying to run this red back, even if they run it straight back and takes this one out, it's going to probably jam, and that yellow's going to go and the red's going to stay. So
Daar gaat hij.
they've got another option here, running that one straight back,
Ja.
which I think might still be a decent option.
Yeah. Or just try to use red on red. And thing is, they still have a 2-point lead. It's not the worst if Team
No,
Gillard
that's
scores
true.
1,
That's true.
and that's a good outcome. I think in terms of hammer efficiency,
Red, ja!
to have 2 more stones to get that result.
Ah, yeah!
They don't want Team Gillard to score too much points in this end here.
This one is tight, and they don't want to tap that red one in. You can hear the sound of regret.
Worst case, tapping red in a second shot position now. Yeah, this is definitely something the coach might want to rewatch,
right?
like in terms of decision making.
Yeah,
in
this is definitely, I think, a teachable moment, a teachable end for.
They had a good shot stone. There were some guards in front of it. They could just kind of add more guards, force Team Gillard to try difficult stuff.
And if we're here, it's fine because it takes
that did not happen. Now Gillard is sitting 2 with the hammer.
Yeah, so heard Ben talking about they're going to try to draw if Ben gets out of the way. There we go. Thank you. He's going to try to draw that in there. At the very worst, if it's light, it ends up there. It takes out the angle.
Which,
so
if they make, fair play.
A good draw is excellent. Also takes away that run back where you could the Cubs could still run back the center guard. Just with a good run back on the center guard. That's
yeah, not sure they can take away both run backs that I see. You've got both of those yellows that can be run back, but you know, get something in there.
Are we passing Scud?
Feels a bit heavy.
Yeah, that feels closer to hit weight than anything, and that is actually going to knock theirs out.
Ooh, and did he just leave a
some
option for the Cubs to yeah, it's not really level, but
well, honestly, he's left a pretty good. If they're just even a little bit off the nose here, they can get both, or a little bit off the nose there, and they'll sit shots. So
I would try and come in between the gap, get rid of the redstone, and then it becomes harder for Gillard to score 2. So that would be my option. Come in the gap, and then reduce the damage. Mess around with your center guards too much.
This one's a bit inside. Is that going to curl over enough to do something with it? No.
Oh, and that was a square jar.
Oh, yep.
Oh, and this is worst case because removing that guard, all of a sudden it is an open takeout for 4, John. An open takeout for 4. So this is absolute worst case for the Cubs.
Even giving up 2 wouldn't have been the worst. The worst scenario, still with 2 ends being level, but now suddenly giving up 4, you've got to look at
if we get it out, it's 3. If we stick, it's
nice.
Yep, 3 or 4. Just get rid of that yellow.
We get 1. If we hit our own and we stick, I think we get 2. We're scoring.
Right there. Hit on the nose. No, you're not getting 2.
Just getting yellow out is the only thing they should worry about.
Yes, that's all I wanted to make sure this one holds.
If the shooter spills, it's 3. If not, it's 4.
This one looking okay. On the nose, and that is a big 4.
And
for Team Gillard. So way to bounce back there.
Couple of mistakes on the Cubs side, but also some decision making that
questionable decision making there from Tess. You know, I think playing for that draw to come around behind when they were already sitting 1 instead of putting up a guard over it, and then tapping the red one in, being too heavy, tapping the red in and opening things up. Yeah, that was a bit of a so with that being the end of round, or end number 6, the conclusion of end number 6. One of these days I'll remember that. We're going to end the poll, and we are going to see what happens here. Final percentages: Team Gillard 61%, Curling Cubs 38. There is a rounding error because nobody picked a tie. So Fingers crossed to both teams. There's still a lot of curling left. You know, it's not done yet. We'll have to see how the Cubs bounce back from it. We saw Frank rush out there to give some encouragement to his young squad.
Yeah, I'm curious how Frank kind of analyzed this end and what he will say. I think
He's going to tell us we're full of brown and... This one coming into the house.
That's fine.
We'll settle in right around the button, maybe a little bit past. No, right there on the pin. I said maybe.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I'm not wrong. I did say we'll settle in right around the button.
Yeah, I mean, 4 points. There was a 2-point lead for the Curling Cups. And now all of a sudden, a 2-point lead for Team Gillard. And now Team Gillard, they can start to play the scoreboard. They can just settle for the Cups just scoring 1. Even that would be a great outcome for Gillard.
This one heavy but wide. So that sails through. Not what they need and or want.
And I hope Frank did some good pep talk with the Curling Cups, because
Nice,
John, if I
good.
lose this prediction, then that also settles
all the
the
way.
predictions for this season here at
Well, over and
Courier
up, over and
TV.
up, over and up.
That is
Look,
true.
we're over up. Go on, get it over, get it over, get it over. Shoot for over, shoot for over, up. Up, 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 up. Perfect. Nice.
Gets it over, gets it on the center line. Nice guard.
Yeah, beautiful setup here.
So, quick update from Sheet C. Glasshook Rangers pulling away, leading 6-1 in the 7th end over Staingood. So that would make things interesting at the top of the table. It would make this afternoon's match between Team Veraken and and Desperate Housekeepers vital. Winner of that would win this round.
Yeah, I think
And to be honest, I'm pulling a little bit for Housekeepers just so we can have a spring
final, yeah.
spring versus fall winners final. This one gonna wait. It's gonna get in right. There's a nice little angle there to go after that one.
and the downside is it's in the house. So if you're Team Gillard, you could
top eight.
also just say it's low, it's in the house. You can see it's. I mean, that's the case.
Yeah,
That-
they
that-
can. I think they can get to the inside of it. They don't need to be very heavy.
Every
but I
yellow
think-
that's out of play is useful.
Yep.
Very wide. Always
And
friends,
again, they're
always
still
friends.
shooting shots.
Wow.
The guard in front of it could work.
Yep. And that's what they
Yeah,
were
bogey,
looking for
bogey,
there,
bogey.
was just kind of a draw in front,
Yeah.
but this one quite
Yeah,
wide,
we
very
did, we did.
light.
Yeah.
Fred not wanting to sweep it, but Ben saying, let's go, we could use that.
That's alright.
Yeah, I think also as a team, this is where you get to decide. Okay, what's the bigger picture? What's the aim we're going for? Do we want to try and steal? Do we want to just make sure the Cubs can't score too much? So if you kind of settle on the bigger plan, then all of the micro decisions and the small decisions are consistent.
Yep. Just wanting to draw in around, come the other side, set up something there, so if they take away one side, they've got another angle for it. Good idea there. Just wanting to set something right here. Next to that red, obviously a corner freeze is ideal. Really just getting something down there close at it to give them an angle at it. This one feels light though. Sweepers are working at trying to get it, but it's only going to get down to about halfway, a little bit light outside the house. Not completely terrible, but not really what they wanted there.
Straight. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Fred.
I need to get this
Well,
one down, curl over. I want to take away that run
Really
back.
nice. Sorry. As I'm yelling it, I'm realizing the sun not that good.
That's unusual. Hearing a skip apologize? What's going on there? Well, what do the Cubs do with this one? Looks like they're still trying to draw around, having to come through the other one. Pack weight, I believe, on this one, trying to tap that red one through. Gonna need to curl, though. Once it gets... Oh, no, I don't think there is any way for it to curl. Maybe... Oh, they were trying to tap the yellow one through. But that opens it up. That's a helpful stone.
Yeah. One good guard and Team
Guard's
Gillard
fine.
is still
I'd
looking
like
at stealing
top 12,
here.
top 8.
Yep. You can even see that they're not going for extra, not getting greedy, just saying, hey, let's guard what we've got. We've already got a two-point lead. Another one is great, but if we can force
That's
them
heavy.
to one, then... This one is going to be heavy, probably behind the tee line,
Fine.
and goes out the back, which obviously not what they wanted, but not a disaster either. They didn't want to leave have it like stop at the tee line and leave a double or something like that. So having it go through at least kind of doesn't give the Cubs anything to play with.
If the Cubs are able to reach the redstone with a bit of back weight, then it could become interesting here.
Yep.
A rare mistake for Team Gillard, going for that guard, throwing it through. And now can the Cubs punish that mistake? If they're able to get rid out, then things could look a whole lot brighter for the young girls. An important stone here, not just for this end, but perhaps also for the game.
Something's going on with Hannah right now, taking a little bit longer to get into the hack. There she goes. Ooh. Straight away for the line call.
Looks good. Can they keep it straight?
Well around the guard now, doesn't have the weight to get down there.
Afraid it's a bit on the light side though.
Oh. Oh. Just not enough weight there, and that's going to make it very difficult to get in there. Now they're going to have to... Oh, yeah, that it almost takes away that corner, that kind of draw in there, too.
This works for Gillard. If they can just put a nice guard.
Looks heavy. Just let it sit, let it sit, let it sit.
Pulling the sweepers off. Don't want them to do anything.
Yeah.
And if anything, they should have maybe swept this to make sure it was deeper.
Oof.
It's now...
Ouch, this is potential double takeout by
Right.
the way it's sitting there. This is definitely, I mean, the red shot stone was as good as unreachable, but that red stone makes kind of creates an angle that wasn't there before, and all of a sudden they can do a double takeout and sit 3. Just imagine if that works here. I think as soon as
they're looking for a guard,
but they have a unique option to double out reds. They're going to clear the guard in front of them.
Don't like this call right now because you have those 2 yellows in the back there are... Yeah, if you're going to do a takeout, you do that one. Because even if
you hit it on the inside,
if
it's
the
a double
yellow,
takeout.
the yellow comes in like that, so... Calling for the sweep, but not really necessary. They wanted that side. That's not the worst.
That's
though.
not the worst. It's still usable. It's still out there.
It gives them that angle. So yeah, Ben is going to look at that.
We could hit it and go. Oh, that goes on there.
And good thing the Cubs in the end switched back to going for a takeout on the redstone.
Yeah.
Their shot is that, quite clearly, isn't it? They have nothing else.
Yeah, so...
My one thing, like, if I throw it wide, I'll play the shot for them.
Then don't throw it wide, Ben. I mean, that's that simple.
Too late.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good thing they can't hear me on the ice.
I don't know. I'm going to go chat to them.
Yeah, I would say you're better off giving a bit less ice
Guard
than
on
you
the
think you
hit.
need, just to make sure you're
So,
not wide.
If we guard and they make a shot, they're going to score. If we hit, we can limit it.
Yeah, they just have to hit it. The Yellowstone is too dangerous for them to leave
Yeah?
out there. So clear
Yeah, I
Yellowstone
think we
is always a good outcome.
do.
Yeah.
And rolling inside is even nicer. Nose hits
Get that, they don't.
is okayish, but preferably roll a bit inside.
The nose hit leaves red here,
Yeah, and then
and
you
there
still leave a
is an
double.
angle. You still leave a double, but
Unless I hit
it's
really
it's a
out.
harder double.
If I hit outside of the stone.
It's
it
basically
could go across.
takeouts and roll, either
Yeah.
inside or outside. But
Well, he doesn't want to hit here because
So it
this
needs
could
to be
send out
inside.
like that. That's his
Indeed.
big fear. So his best bet is to hit here and just have it roll over. And then what happens, even if he hits us hard enough, this is going to go over that way. So it's not...
Yes!
There's very little downside to being
All the
inside on
way.
this one. Just needs to make sure he
All the
gets
way,
it
we're coming.
around the red. That one's good. Oh, crash there.
oh no!
And no!
Oh no!
Oh, what did I say about there being little downside? That was
That was a big downside, and
oops.
and did any of the stones got moved?
Yes,
Because of the
this red out here was more up there.
yeah, they have to figure out how things were sitting before.
I'm wondering if I could go and find the replay. So if you don't touch anything, I can find the replay to maybe help them.
Yeah, normally you cannot.
We can't do
interfere.
anything, but we will. Let's
But
see.
the replay might pop up on the TV, and perhaps somebody can have.
Let's see, what angle would I want to be looking at that? I think it would be the yellow. Let's just hope I don't crash. Okay, yeah, so it's this one there.
Yeah, Frank is already coming over.
Yeah, so the red in the middle is moved over.
Yeah, the red in the
So
middle was on the center
This
line.
goes to there, and this one comes back to here.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit lower. Yep. But this is they're not allowed to use.
No, they have to figure it out basically, and how good is their mental model of the game setup?
I'm almost wondering if the coaches can solve things. Oops. And
I'm not sure if the coaches are allowed to solve that. It's a big question. Like, what do you do now? And they have to decide at some point. And
Yeah.
basically, you have a option is putting things where you thought they were, or leave
Yeah.
things as they are. But they have to make a decision. At some point they have to say, okay, we'll.
I think they've decided just to leave things as they are. They
Think-
don't
yeah.
remember, so it's probably best. They know that redstone off to the side moved, but did it? They don't know where, so I think they're just deciding to leave it
Yeah,
as it
either way,
is.
things look pretty good for curling cups. They have 4 stones in the house at this point.
Yeah, they got their. That was such a huge play there. I thought, okay, even if they're a little bit on the inside, it wouldn't do anything. But yeah, that just little tick was, yeah, that was crazy there.
Yeah. And the teams decided they didn't quite remember how things were, so like, you don't want to add a mistake on top of a mistake. So I guess they're just fine with leaving things as they are.
They probably can't. I know the rules officials, or the referees can't help with that kind of stuff either. So probably it would seem like the coaches also could not help. But also, are you really paying attention to the positions of those stones at this point at the end? You're more looking at the. Don't want that too deep.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all good. That's all good. Just and now there is
Get it perfectly. Still like
there is a little bit of room to bite the 4 foot over on that side, and what we know, but what they don't know is that side was closed earlier, but the guard is gone, so it opened up.
gotta go for it. Right?
Wayne saying, I guess our video can't be used. No,
I
Wayne.
know.
Oh, because we actually had this situation earlier in the season where there was a match that somebody knocked something over, and we were talking with somebody who was actually an ice maker for the WCF, and they said that they can't use the video.
Nope.
Even the officials can't use the video.
If
So
we miss this, they get 6.
oof. How big would that be?
I think coaches cannot interfere because I remember coaches are allowed to watch the video footage. They're not allowed to listen to any comments, so they have to watch the video footage in
Make sure we
silent.
pass
But
the
then,
guard.
if they have access
we
to video
pass.
footage, they might have access to information the players don't have.
So they are trying that draw into the
Are we on that?
It's heavy.
into the 4. It's a bit heavy. Is that going to chip off of anything? Nope. And that goes through.
Oh, and this is a draw for 6. A draw for 6. and
Anywhere
there's
in the
plenty
house
of
with plenty of backing. Yeah, it just, as long as they're not throwing a takeout.
Is this anywhere in the house will do the trick? Just snelheid. She's saying, in terms of weights, a biter, even T-line or back line is.
I
is
would
good
just
enough.
say, just throw your best LSD. Just throw
Yeah.
something in there. It's better to be heavy than leave it light.
Yeah,
So
because even if you take out phone, well, the shooter is also in the game. But so far, 5, probably 6. Oh no, this is light and
this
inside.
one is inside. I think they're going to leave that extra port on the board.
Yeah, and
That's what you don't want. See, that's why I didn't like saying just throw the biter.
yeah, you have even all the way on the side, and 12 foot was good enough. But yeah, it's still 5. But it's so unfortunate to leave, quote unquote, a 3-point hanging out there the way they did. But 5 is huge. And remember when I said they have this kind of comeback mentality? Well, they were facing 4, and now they're going to slam a 5
Up
on
there.
the board. Could have been a 6.
Wayne asking if it was Mark Callan. No, it wasn't Mark Callan. It was Inkfield, and I can't pronounce her last name.
I think it's Scala or Skara.
She we've met her through a couple of tournaments. I think Tom Gutals has played with her.
Played her there as well.
Oh yeah,
but,
Pim as well. Yeah, so she's been to a couple of tournaments. We've met her, played with her in tournaments in Denmark. So
Yeah, last year in Silkeborg, we were team the Bold and the Beautiful, with Tom and I obviously being the Beautiful.
yeah. It's a bit of a shame they didn't get that 6th point.
Yeah, because the
And
six might have.
they might have gotten a handshake from that. You know, you go up by 4, but then again, you've scored 4 on your own, so why not? So this leaves something in there to, I think, leave a little bit of hope for Team Gillard.
And Staying Good versus Glasgow Rangers is a
Yeah,
wrap.
That is a wrap. That is, pop up the score there. Staying Good scoring 1 in the 7th, but deciding that was not enough. And so Glasgow Rangers currently sitting first place, top of the table, depending on what happens with the...
Oh,
Whoops.
This is definitely, I guess, inside information, or like the coach saying, just throw it through. You have
Yeah.
a 3-point lead, just don't do anything. Confirmed by Frank, he's saying,
Yeah.
just
Get it through. Yeah.
get it through the window. Scare some people here at the canteen, but don't, don't take too much risk with
oops.
cards you don't want.
Let's do this again. Hey. Keeps. There we go. So Team Gillard needing a build-up, and unfortunately coming up light, hogging the stone. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, they needed that guard.
Yeah. So Tess saying, throw it away.
All right, let's see if we can keep up with the pace of Lore's super speeds, bullet train, flying rocket Yellowstone right there. Oh, pushed
Boom! Lots of spin on that. Why not?
it. And they're still timing the stone. Just
Mike, color.
And that goes through.
yeah, if you're the lead, that is the most fun way to to kick off an end.
Yeah.
There's no more things you can do wrong. The Cubs, they will just aim for an open house.
They're needing guards, although I think the sweepers have indicated this one is going through. This one is heavy. Having a little team meeting to decide are they going to shake hands or not, I think. This one goes through.
Yeah, missing already the 2 guards. That is worst case if you're trying to come back with a big house. At least you can hope your opponent leaves some guards out there, which obviously they don't.
Yeah.
But then
I do believe this one will be going through again.
Yeah. Mike, still there. What?
you can feel the arc of suspense collapsing here.
Yes, the young ladies, the curling clubs, just know, hey, let's just get it through. Yeah, watch the hack. That's important. The removable hacks new from this year that nobody is used to yet, so...
Every hack is removable if you throw some heavy peels at it.
It's the easiest shot in curling, and I've still seen somebody throw it in the house. Yeah. I believe that. I mean, I've accidentally thrown the wrong handle on a throw through that almost almost hit something.
Well, that's fine.
And now they can start taking out guards.
Yep, that's all they really should do.
Yeah, there is no.
Yeah.
That's a nice golfing instructions from Hannah. Now back to focus mode because you cannot
Yeah.
relax too much. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
still important
got to
start
make sure
taking
you
them
get
out.
rid of the guard and lose your shooter.
Hold on. Yeah.
However, it's not a
Oh,
huge
oh.
disaster if you miss the guard, but you don't want to let them have something. It needs to curl over a bit. Unfortunately, it does not, but it does go through, so...
Unforgivableness here
Yeah.
for Tess.
They'll just feel
Unforgivable.
that and then same.
I see
If you
a
have double,
coach
it might jam.
taking notes.
So looking to set up a double guard here. Try to protect the corner. This is a tough situation for Team Gillard as well, is figuring out, yeah, is it worth it throwing the double stones knowing you've already missed 2 and you need to score 3 to tie with only 5 stones left to play? That's...
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a GG as soon as they missed those first 2 guards. Cards are extremely important.
That's this one over. That's going to set up a little stacked double over there.
Doe maar achter.
And opting to do a draw.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. There's...
Now that-
Okay. I mean, it's...
I mean, that's the thing with, like, what is the bigger picture? What is the big plan? Sometimes you just have to, but it works. I mean, if it's a good draw, but you create a situation where there's still something happening.
Yeah, that feels light as well, so they don't want to leave another guard.
There's nothing wrong with clearing guards.
No. This one, yeah, drifted outside, and now it's coming back, but not going to get hidden. So this is going to leave a hit and roll situation here for
Maar je hebt wel even...
Team Gillard.
Good thing is, it is just biting, so hit and roll is not per se something that will work.
So opting, I think, for the draw in behind it.
Yep.
Or draw in behind their own guard, excuse me.
Really
4
wide.
more red stones to come, so
Really wide.
technically the win is still out there for the young English team.
This one is sitting wide. It's on that side that kind of drifts out, starts curling in later, so that will get in behind that yellow.
All of a sudden, your Yellowstone is something that's more hurtful than helpful. Not
Yeah,
that it will
that-
matter, but yeah, I mean,
Kan je
if your
zien?
plan is to avoid
Hey, we
having a
didn't
situation, then
we didn't think the Cubs were
Still
going to
not
score
away.
5 in that last end
That's
either,
true.
so anything can still happen.
yeah, just imagine if they're going for takeouts and they have
Yeah.
3 misses in a row. Things could end up getting a bit scary
Whoa!
towards the end.
Whoa!
Yeah, see, this is wide. Need this to curl over. It's just going to miss the yellow and the red.
Yeah, and Torrance was on the inside. I mean, if you clear your Yellowstone, not the worst.
Exactly. Yeah, that's would have
Yep.
been better. So now Gillard has an option.
And this comes down to decision making again, like opting to come in. But yeah, if it worked, then would have been a totally different situation, of course. And then we would be complimenting the team for making a very good draw, claiming that spot behind
Wide.
the guards.
No, I still would have.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
still didn't like that one. But this one, they're still giving too much ice, even on these draws. And this is going to tap the yellow. And is it going to be tapping the yellow into a shot position? No, but I don't know if I would call that
Mama, kan je
fine,
nog
Ben,
steeds zien?
because now it makes the scoring area that much smaller. Although I guess with that red in front, they could tap back onto the yellow. Yeah, I think for the Cubs, just get something in behind those guards in the house. Take away or really narrow down that scoring area because they've only got 2 shots left, 2 stones left, Team Gillard, to get anything in play.
Yeah, the thing is,
Ja, 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 doe maar, doe maar.
the first couple of stones were super fun, happy slide with throwing him through the house, but all of a sudden you have to revert back to focus mode because of the situation.
Yep.
And this is something you...
This one much better.
Yeah.
That's what the ice they should have given the first time, but now I feel like there's a double there. What do we look like over the top?
It's not really an easy double. It's there.
Kind of a thin one. Chip,
Backline,
but
back. Sit 2.
it's not a straightforward double.
no.
And remember, you have to score 3 to tie. So at this stage, the shooter cannot roll out anymore.
Needs to curl over. They don't want this one too. Needs to be further on the inside of the nose. That's gonna.
Yellow will jam on the red one.
Yep, and that is GG's, I believe.
Yeah,
I mean, officially they'll play things out, but right now, yeah,
Okay.
red does not have any way to get rid of those 2 yellows that are sitting shots. He had to take the risk there. Cubs just needing a guard, kind of make any kind of run back or hero shot impossible.
Net. Goed guard set.
Has to be a guard, as long as it's over. And they need this one to curl just a little bit more. Get over in front of that, and I think that is going to be all she wrote. Yep, that takes it away.
What?
I don't
I think it might be.
see a good option to score 3 except for a crazy hero shot
'cause
going
even-
red on
Because this is in the
red.
house now.
It's nearly impossible.
Yeah,
Well, we see some 5-minute thinking time for
I
an
think
impossible
so. There's
option.
no clock, but
360.
yeah, because if that yellow wasn't there, they could have
Try 360.
basically come in, nose hit,
Why?
and had that opportunity for a double. This will be definitely a highlight of the year if they are able to do something with this.
Yeah. It's if we really thin this, it's there, but go on. I'll throw it.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna throw it. It's hard.
Why not? I
anyway.
mean, at this point, what do they have to lose? I mean, they do have this. So what they're looking at is running it here. It has to catch the outside of that, which then has to kick over and hopefully push.
No, because in that case, red will spill out.
I don't think there's any way they can hold.
If red
so.
spills
No,
out,
for the left
then
back.
they have 0 results.
Wait,
They
the
have
hack's in the
to
way.
do this.
Ah, yep. Okay, so
But I'm gonna follow the stone.
yeah, follow the stone.
And that can't do it from left back.
Nope.
Nope.
Whips it wide.
Nobody watches that lone stone going out,
oops.
but this is a GG and a big win for the Cubs. All of a sudden, it looked as if the clouds were gathering on top of their heads after that four-ender, but they came back with a 5-ender, and then they had a pretty solid opening for the last one. So let's hop on back to the booth with a first of all, congratulations. We had a lot of questions, driving left or right. The right answer is driving right. I had a second question. Sausages or koffiekoeken? Apparently koffiekoeken also wins over sausages.
Sausages.
And then the big question, curling clubs versus Team Gillard. The curling clubs, they win this game, but
Yep.
this is not the last England versus Belgium we're going to see today. Hopefully, there are some rumors, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's assume that the Broomies will don't do a no-show and they will show up with a team. But we'll have to see that for later. John, how would you wrap up this game?
First half saw quite a few mistakes on both sides, but playing making the same mistakes. So we saw a pretty tight match going there. But after the break, the Cubs really seemed to kind of like find it. Gillard made a sort of a comeback, but then struggled in the last couple of ends, giving up that unfortunate miss. The one miss that I thought wasn't there turned out it was, and so giving up the big 5 house to the Cubs to allow them back into it, and then the Cubs just playing, almost losing focus and letting them get back into it, but holding their own, holding on to it, making it so. Good win, strong win for the Cubs. Definitely made some good adjustments after the break. And so that's going to move them up the ladder, up the table, probably into the promotion zone. So that would be a good result for them.
Yeah, we're always kind of hoping for the junior teams to kind of rise up and at some points start challenging the medium and senior teams. But for us, John, this is a wrap-up. And before we say the final goodbyes, and I'll allow John to do the final goodbyes, I'm going to do one more mention for the people predicting the winner. I see 38% of our chat is right, and I am one of that. One of the 38%. I have the Curling Cups as a winner. It is coming to a 12 versus 11, so everything will be decided in the next game where John has the first pick. I already have my pick in my mind, so I'm not going to be influenced by what John says. But and I'm forced to counter pick John. Basically, that's the whole point. If I follow John's pick, I lose anyway. So I hope I get to pick my pick, but I'm counter picking anyway. But that's for later.
Yeah, Wayne's saying there's a lot of big ends. Yeah, that's true. That would pretty much sum up that second half, just big ends. So with that, thank you everybody who watched, who voted, who chatted, who just had us on the TV listening to us in the background. We appreciate you very much. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. I'll be posting all of the highlights from this weekend's matches on our Instagram and YouTube. But with that, we've got another match coming up here in about an hour and a half. So if you want to see some more curling, we've got some for you. Until then, goodbye.
Bye-bye.